Hey yo, what up? Jaikin Bros here with our first ever video. What if Luffy ate the Shishi no Mi or the Death Fruit? Now, please remember to drop a like and subscribe and turn on notifications if you like anime or what ifs. Now, straight into the intro. Hey yo, what's up guys? Jaikin Bros here with the cringy intro. Now, onto our first ever video. What if Luffy ate the Shishi no Mi or the Death Fruit? Now, we start our story with a 5-year-old Luffy. He's not going to be 6 since that's when he met Shanks, and that's not going to be how he gets the Devil Fruit. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Okay, so we see a 5-year-old Luffy wandering around the island. He's now on the coast of the island that he lives on currently. And he's there looking around when he sees something wash up on the shore of the beach. He goes and runs to check it out. And then he sees that it's some sort of fruit. Since he was hungry at the time, he decided it wouldn't be that bad if he ate it. So, as you expect, he ate the fruit. But that fruit was a weird fruit with very swirly lines and black in color. Luffy took a bite out of it and swallowed, and he realized that the taste was bitter, so he threw the fruit back into the ocean. And he said, "Ugh, why is this fruit so bitter? I've never seen a fruit like this before." And he runs back to Makino's bar. When he goes back to Makino's bar, she realizes something different. She realized that the villagers were running away from Luffy. And when he finally got closer to her, she was starting to step away. And she was feeling very weak. She was wondering, what was this aura about him? What was this pressure? This is Luffy's 6th birthday. Well, the day before his 6th birthday. Makino decides to leave it uncalled for as the pressure suddenly stopped when he started smiling at her. Now, Luffy went to bed. He wakes up and finds that it's his 6th birthday. He's very happy, so he runs out to Makino's bar and shouts out in the street, and he says, "My name is Monkey D. Luffy, and it's my 6th birthday." After this, they all celebrate in the village. But then, when Luffy was sad after he fell down and got a cut, they felt the weird pressure again. The weird feeling that almost wanted them to faint. But then it stopped again when Makino healed the bruise with her strong will to go near Luffy, and she healed it. This is a little glimpse of him starting to unlock Conqueror's Haki. As I was saying, this is a little glimpse of his Conqueror's Haki. Now, we have a time skip of 2 weeks. This is when the people of the town start to panic as they saw a pirate ship dock near the island. They started panicking, thinking that the pirate ship would come in and raid the island. That's when the mayor went out to the front of the island, ready to confront the pirates and protect the villagers. But that's when he saw that when the pirates came out, they didn't have any weapons drawn, or they weren't trying to hurt anyone. This confused him, as he thought that all pirates were bad and would pillage villages. That's when the captain walked up to him and said, "Hey, name's Shanks. Nice to meet you. We're stopping by for a couple of while. Just want some booze." So yeah, they go to Makino's bar, and the whole pirate crew gets rid of all the booze that Makino has. But in the middle of their drinking, when they were almost done and were ready to leave, they met a little boy called Luffy. He went up to them and said, "Hey, you pirates! If you're hoping to cause any trouble, just know that I'll beat you up. My punches are as fast and strong as pistol." So, that's when the red-haired man looks at Luffy and says, "Ha! As if a kid like you had that much strength. If you had that much strength at your age, I would train you for like a year or two if I met a kid that like that." So yeah, that's probably a lie. That's when Luffy says, "Oh, you don't believe me, huh?" That's when Luffy starts crying. And he's like, "Please believe me.
No.
My punches are as strong as pistols." That's when the pirate starts feeling sad that they made the little kid cry. But when he was crying, they started feeling a pressure fill the room. And this time, because Luffy was so sad and angry that they didn't believe him that his punches were strong and fast, his conqueror's haki was stronger than ever. He then sees some of the weaker members of the red-haired pirates start fainting, and Shanks feels the pressure and says, "Ben, this is conqueror's haki. We have to take this kid and train him." That's when Ben agrees and says, "Yeah, this is gonna be so troublesome." See that? Shikamaru style? Sorry. Okay. He's like, "This is going to be so troublesome." Okay, so in this version, I don't know at what time it was. I think that it was when Luffy was 9. But in this version, he's going to train with the red-haired pirates until he's 9. And that's when he's going to meet Ace and everything. Okay, so now we see Luffy setting off to sail with the red-haired pirates. They made it look like a kidnapping since they didn't want a little kid as young as him already having a bounty on his head when the government realizes that he's with the red-haired pirates. But the villagers knew it wasn't a kidnapping though. But they just don't tell the police or Garp, because Garp flipped when he heard the news. Now, we do a time skip of 6 months. We see Luffy in a jungle with Shanks, where an animal is charging at him. He just turns at the animal and then stomps his feet on the ground and says, "Obey me," and powerful and commanding voice. For a 6-year-old, this is very surprising. Yes, as I was saying, this power and commanding voice was very, very surprising. If you didn't know that this wasn't no ordinary 6-year-old, you would think that you were in a dream. You then see the huge beast in the forest start sweating, and it sits down as if it was obeying Luffy's command. Luffy then says, "Roll over on your back." And then the animal rolls over on its back. He then says, "Let me pet you." The animals wasn't going to do this at first, but then when Luffy started scratching his tummy, he started wagging his tail. And that is a story about how Luffy got a giant dog as a I'm kidding. Okay, so yeah. He starts scratching the dog's belly, and he says, Okay, go on, and don't trouble me anymore. You're very troublesome." This is when the dog runs away. The giant, huge dog runs away, making tremors whenever it stomps on the ground. This is when Shanks walks up behind Luffy and says, "Bravo, bravo. It appears that you have gotten stronger with your conqueror's haki." I'm very proud. By now, Luffy's Conqueror's Haki is enough to wipe out and knock out all the people on the island he was on, including Makino and all of those strong people. Yes, even strong-willed persons like Makino she used to be the only one who could go that close to him whenever he was hurt to like heal his bandages so the aura stops coming out. But now, she doesn't even stand a chance against his conquerors. Even some ups in Shanks' crew, not Ben or those guys that we saw in the bar that was last time were there now. The higher ups joined Shanks as they were on a mission away from where Shanks was, but now they're back, and even they have to start sweating whenever they feel Luffy's haki. Even Shanks at least gets a single sweat whenever he's under the pressure of Luffy's haki. Now, we are going to do another time skip of 1 year. We now see Luffy, fighting some of the red-haired pirates, where he's dodging their sword attacks and their bullets with his observation haki, and he's knocking some of them out by punching them and channeling his conqueror's haki through his fist, which is a technique that he learned, and Shanks didn't even know it was possible. It's an easier way for him to focus his conqueror's haki in one position on one person so that it's more effective. Now, this technique is one that Shanks tried to learn, but for some reason he couldn't learn it. But he didn't mind it anyways. He was already strong enough. So, we now see Luffy completely destroy the army of red-haired pirates he was going against. That was until he was up against Ben Beckman and Shanks. And also Lucky Roo. They all rush at him, and Luffy managed to dodge a couple of shots and a couple of sword strikes from Shanks. But in the end, he lost to them and was at gunpoint from both Lucky Roo and Ben Beckman, and he was at sword point from Shanks. He then says, "Oh, alright, I give up." That's when Shanks, Lucky Roo, and Ben Beckman says, "Wow, for a kid you sure do put up a fight, man. Good job. You managed to take out almost the entire pirate crew. I'm happy for you. Now, you only have one haki left to learn, and that is to get your armament haki and master it. You have already mastered observation haki to a point where you can now see the future up to 5 seconds. And you have mastered your conqueror's haki to where you could just completely wipe out the whole of Germa's 66 armies with all those strong-willed persons. And you could wipe out almost all of a complete island, no matter what island you're on. That's how strong your conqueror's haki is at the moment. And I have a feeling that it's only going to get stronger. When you use your conqueror's haki now, you make me almost have to fall on one knee. But luckily, I am stronger willed than that. I can only fall on one knee whenever I'm weakened from a battle or I'm tired. But when I'm strong willed, you can still make me sweat like crazy. I am now officially proud to say that your training is almost done, but you have been stronger than ever. Now, we do a time skip of 3 weeks where Luffy actually got an animal, well, a pet to be precise. He got a pet bird, but one day when he was playing with the bird bit him and he got angry and he slapped the bird. But this time, the bird its eyes went white and it fell on the ground. The other said, "Luffy, you shouldn't be treating your pets like that." And he says, "I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. It's just like I had to. If I didn't, I feel like I was gonna die. The others were wondering what this was, but they probably thought that he used Conqueror's Haki and had some weird feeling that made him have to slap the bird and knock it out. But when they went there, they realized that the bird wasn't breathing. They said, Luffy, you, you killed the bird. And Luffy's like, what? No, that's my pet. Luffy then starts crying for the rest of the day. Now, this was a glimpse of Luffy's ability, of the Death Fruit, where everything he touched, if he touched someone, he can kill them. Well, he can also transfer his death to his Conqueror's Haki. So mixing it with his Conqueror punches, if he punches someone, he can kill them. And if he uses Conqueror's Haki, he can kill them by infusing his Death Fruit with his Conqueror's Haki. So it won't just knock them out now. So this is why he is very feared in the future. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how they finally figured out that it was actually a devil fruit. They thought that Luffy was that strong that he could kill easily. But that's when they were sailing in the Grand Line as Luffy wanted to go there, and they thought that he was strong enough for now. This is when he goes to the Grand Line, and let's say that one of Big Mom's sweet commanders, one that we don't know of in the story, I'm making this one up. Pretend his name is Drumbo. I'm sorry for the cringe name, but yeah, Drumbo. And his devil fruit power is the power where he has drums on his body. And each time he beats them, it's kind of like the demon that can move around a certain area with just beating his drums. So that's his devil fruit ability. And he sees the red-haired pirate ships, and they were a little too close to his ship, and he says, how dare those pirates think that they can come close to my ship? My ship? Out of all ships they could come close to, they came close to mine? Ugh, I'm going to kill them. He then jumps in the air and lands straight on the red-haired pirate ships. And he landed right in front of Luffy. All of the pirate crew members knew that he was too strong for even Luffy to take on. But that's when Luffy said, hey, get out of my way, you jerk! And he punches him in the gut. And you see him fly away into the air, because Luffy punched up. So yeah, he flies into the air, and when he lands back on the deck, they see him knocked out. They're like, Luffy's Conqueror Haki's punch can't be that strong. He's not even... This guy is almost on the same level of Shanks. Because they say that Shanks is not a Yonko at the moment. He's about the level of Katakuri. And this guy, Drumbo, is about the same strength as Katakuri. So yeah, since Luffy can't beat Shanks, he's not supposed to be able to beat Drumbo with his current abilities. Because the red-haired pirates know about Drumbo, as he is a member of a Yonko's crew and a high-ranking sweet general. He's a second in command, after all. So now, and by the way, when I say that Drumbo is the same strength as Katakuri, I mean that he's the same strength of Katakuri when we first meet Katakuri, which is when he was fighting Luffy. So, yeah, he's very strong. Shanks says, how did he take down a high-ranking sweet commander like that? He's the second in command of Big Mom. That's when they go over to him and checks his pulse. And he says, he's dead? That's when Luffy says, yeah, a strange feeling happened again. Whenever I'm in trouble, it's almost like whenever I touch things, they die? And Shanks is like, wait, did you eat a devil fruit, Luffy? And Luffy's like, a devil fruit? What's that? This is where Shanks explains devil fruits to Luffy and how they look. That's when Luffy says, oh yeah, when I was 5 years old, the day before my birthday, the day before my 6th birthday, I found this weird fruit on the shore of the island. It tasted very bitter. It was a black fruit with some weird swirls. That's when Ben came out with a book and says, Luffy, you know that you can't swim now. That is the reason why anytime we try to teach you how to swim, you always almost drowned and we had to save you. And Luffy says, so this devil fruit thing is why I can't swim? And then Ben Beckman says this again. He then says, Luffy, you ate the strongest of the devil fruits. The death fruit. The power where anything you touch, you choose if they die or get knocked out. So it's practically a better version of your conqueror's hockey. That's how you were able to beat Jumbo. Because you used your ability on him unconsciously. And the feeling that you says was that if you didn't kill Jumbo, it felt like you were gonna die. That feeling was a feeling that the fruit gives you, but you won't actually die. It's just that whenever you're facing a stronger opponent than you, and you know that their intention is to kill you, it makes you feel like you are going to die, as it is practically kicking into your observation hockey and sending it into overdrive, where you can see very, very, very long, up to 1 year after that encounter. While you can't use this normally, it only happens passively because of your devil fruit. And if it sees that you die in the future, it will make you feel as if you are already dead and makes you use your ability. You need to learn how to control this ability, as you might end up killing one of us if we aren't careful. Now, we have already done 1 year and 6 months of training. We still have 1 year and 6 months left. So, 1 year later, and Luffy has complete control over his devil fruit. He hasn't awakened his devil fruit yet, but that's coming sooner or later. Now, 6 months later, Luffy has mastered his devil fruit, not awakened. He has complete control over his conquerors. He has complete control over observation and complete control over his haki. He now has Ryu haki, the most powerful of hakis that he would learn. Spoiler alert. If you don't want any spoilers, I would suggest that you skip to 20 to 30 that he learns when he's in prison. Now, I'm just waiting and passing time by for all those who are waiting on a spoiler. Now that the spoiler is gone, we now see Luffy back sailing in a little dingy boat, and behind him was the red-haired pirate's ship, sometime far away. The red-haired pirates had contacted Makino, and told her to contact Garp and tell Garp that his grandson was coming back. And they just told Garp they better hope that he's not bad to his grandson, for his grandson is now able to kill any one of his members of the crew or any admiral with ease. He also tells Makino that Luffy has a devil fruit, and not to tell Garp that yet. He wants Luffy to tell Garp personally. When Luffy sees the Garp, he isn't scared this time, even if he is just a 9-year-old boy. Normally he would be scared of his grandpa, but now that he knows that he's stronger than his grandpa and practically everyone in the world, he then just smiles and says, "Hey grandpa, I'm back." Garp starts crying, but when he sees the red-haired pirate ship behind them, he then says, "Ah! You darn pirates!" He then jumps up and punches the deck of the red-haired pirate ship, almost breaking a hole through the bottom of the ship. That's when Shanks says, "Come on, man. Seriously? We didn't actually kidnap him. We just trained him." And Garp was like, "Wait." And then he runs up back to the top of the ship. And then he says, "What do you mean? Makino said that you kidnapped my grandson." He then says, "No, it's just because we didn't want your grandson to have a bounty." "Would you want your grandson to have a bounty, you sicko?" And Garp's like, oh, and starts digging his nose and says, oh, I never thought of it that way. Everybody on the boat then sweat drops as Garp jumps away and jumps back on the island as Luffy has finally arrived. Luffy then says bye to the red-haired pirates as they are now leaving back to the Grand Line in the search for One Piece and keeping balance. Now, Garp then says to Luffy, so, you've been trained, huh? Let's see how strong you are! He then runs towards Luffy, where Luffy just goes and slaps Garp in the face. Like, literally backhands the man in the face, like, PAH! Like, the man gets backhand. Literally. Okay, so as I was saying, other than talking about Garp getting backhanded by Luffy, so yeah. As I was saying, yeah, Luffy slaps Garp in the face, and Garp feels weak, and he says, oh, what was that? And Luffy says, come on, Gramps. I'm a 9-year-old who can kill you. And why are you trying to hit me? I'm still a 9-year-old, you know. I may be strong, but still, come on, man. Have some conscience. Now, this is where I'll be leaving it off for my first ever video, which was what if Luffy either Shishi no Mi or Death the Fruit. I'm out.